I'm Chris Essman. I'm not on the pamphlet because, I don't know, I guess didn't make the cut. But I'm a senior political science major, minors in leadership studies, poverty and social justice, and philosophy. I've been an intern here at the Truett Center this past year, and I've really grown to appreciate what the Truett Center does and consider this my family and community on campus. I guess for future plans, don't have anything planned yet. Sort of nerve-wracking, but then also exciting at the same time, so we'll see where it goes from here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Lewis. I'm also a senior, and I'm from Maryland. I'm an English major, professional writing, and creative writing, and a gender studies minor. After graduation, I'm going to grad school for creative writing in California, so that's exciting. I've also worked pretty closely with the Truett Center as an intern for the Kernodle Center and Elon Volunteers. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maria Restuccio. I am also a senior economics major with minors in business administration and French.
My name is Matt Johnston. I'm from Maryland. I'm a human services major, and over the last few years, I've been involved with ICE, which is the interfaith community at Elon, so that's kind of my connection to the Truett Center.
I'm Pamela Gutermuth. I'm a religious studies and political science double major, international studies, information science double minor. I'm from South Florida, and I've been a part of our Interfaith LLC for the past 3 years, so that's one of my connections here.
Thank you so much. And again, my name is Ileana Brodsky, and I will be moderating. So I'm going to pose a question, and each panelist will have the opportunity to answer how they see fit. And for the sake of time, please try to keep the answers down to a minute, 2 minutes, but make them jam-packed with wisdom. So the first question is, what question or theme has resounded with you or has reoccurred during your time at Elon, and how has this affected your experience? So take a second. Would you like me to repeat the question? Okay. What question or theme has resounded with you or has reoccurred during your time at Elon, and how has it affected your experience?
So I identify as irreligious, agnostic, and I became involved with interfaith because it was kind of an attractive community that wasn't necessarily a religious community. And so I guess the question that kept coming back to me was, as someone who identifies as irreligious, what is my role in interfaith, kind of the interfaith movement? So that's been interesting because through that and through discussions with other people who may be irreligious, I've kind of come to a greater understanding of what my beliefs are and what my role within interfaith is, and how all of us can take a role no matter what our beliefs are. So that's kind of been my enduring question through that.
For me, it's really been a lot about how do I integrate my interactions with people of other faiths into my own faith identity, because my faith identity has grown a lot and been very influential on me at my time at Elon, and I've really found interfaith forcing me to ask the questions of myself. How do I agree or disagree with them on this? How do I approach this issue? And it's really made me think about how much interfaith has helped me really form my own identity within my tradition.
I think my enduring question has been more along the lines of community. So I've had the opportunity to study abroad and do some service work while traveling. And I think my enduring question is, which community do I belong to, and how do I intersect my communities? So Elon has been a fantastic community for me throughout my 4 years here, but how do I take this community and transplant it around the world? Or how do I take the lessons I learned from another community and bring it back here? So how do you merge the two, I think, has been my enduring question.
Something I've thought a lot about through my 4 years at Elon is, we talk about diversity, we talk about inclusivity, but what does that actually look like on our campus? And I would say the main question I've had is, how do we kind of bring social justice to the average student at Elon? A lot of us are hyper involved, but what about the ones who only go to class? How do we get them to have those conversations? And when I think about places like the Kernodle Center and places like Truett, I think there's a really unique opportunity there for more collaboration and more discussion about those topics.
For me, my enduring question would be similar to Matt's. I also identify as irreligious, atheist. So my enduring question, I actually planned on speaking about it in Numen Lumen until my good friend Aiden Dyer really wanted to step up and take my place, and he did a great job as well. The Truth Center staff would understand that little joke. But my question would be, what if God doesn't exist? What does that mean? What does that mean for me in my life? Is my life meaningless? Do I have no purpose? I took a series of classes my freshman and sophomore year to really explore my religious faith identity. What do I believe for myself? And was the purpose of my event this semester good without God? And it's what I've taken away from my internship here at the Truett Center is that even if I don't believe, even if everyone else does believe, what matters is our willingness to contribute to the social justice to our community and to better each other's lives and to form this sort of interfaith community that we do at the Truett Center that really matters at the end of the day.
Wow, thank you guys. I have not paid them to talk about the Truett Center or prompted them to talk about interfaith at all, but I'm really glad that this is something that's coming up. So the next question is, have you been able to answer any of your enduring or overarching questions while at college? If so, how?
I guess I'll talk about that one briefly. I don't know if I've answered my question, but I think I've gotten more comfortable with the fact that there isn't one answer. I think when it comes to things like inclusivity and diversity and social justice, I recognize that there needs to be a lot happening around those things. You're not going to reach all of the students through one platform. And I think a lot of that is just us talking to each other. I think our students are finally starting to talk about these issues. And I think if I am hoping for anything after I graduate is that students will keep having those really important conversations.
Sorry, I was asked to reiterate the question.
Oh,
no, you're fine. Have you been able to answer any of your enduring or overarching questions while at college?
I think to answer my question, an obvious answer wasn't there, but I think I've come across a better understanding of where I fall into the question. So who am I to go to new communities and learn and impact change? Is that my role, not being from an original community? So I think I've begun to settle myself in my own personal role within that relationship between local and global communities. And that's something that really prompted me to stay in Alamance County after graduation, is understanding this has been a home community for 4 years. It's been a transient community, but it is my role to stay once I've formed relationships and not give back, because that's a lame phrase, but to continue relationships past the 4 years that I am here.
Yeah, I kind of touched on it earlier, I think, but coming into college, I was very unsure of what I believed religiously, spiritually, but through many discussions I've had, mostly with interfaith, but also just with my friends and with professors through classes, I mean, obviously don't have an answer, but I've definitely come to a clearer understanding of what I believe in and more confident in my beliefs, at least. So that's kind of been my way of answering those questions about what I do believe.
And for me, I really have been able to address some of my things of how has interfaith impacted my own identity, how has it strengthened it, because I got the opportunity my sophomore year to have a Muslim roommate, and we had a lot of really candid late-night conversations about what we believed, what we thought on different issues, and that's really helped me to address the question.
Yes.
And how?
I guess just going off what I was saying on the earlier response, but just to end my final senior year at the Truett Center sort of reflects that.
Thank you. So our final question is, are there any questions you would urge younger Elon students to grapple with while they're still here?
Yeah, I'd say I would encourage the younger students just to get out and explore, find your niche, find your community. There's so many organizations and places you could go at Elon that offers a variety of diverse communities and perspectives. So I would just encourage others to get out and explore.
And what kind of questions do you hope that exploration brings up?
I guess it depends on the person, but I guess finding more about who they are, where they belong, and yeah, where to go next.
Yeah, absolutely. The question was, are there any questions you would urge younger Elon students to grapple with while they're still here? It doesn't necessarily have to be a question. It can also be a theme.
Okay, I can talk about a theme. I think I would urge younger students to recognize the ways that they do have privilege and the ways that they don't. I think what's really valuable about being on a college campus is that you're ideally surrounding yourself with people who come from different backgrounds and have different thoughts and opinions. And I think we have to recognize the limits of our perspectives and recognize maybe we don't have access to all of the information and we're not seeing everything happening with all of the students here. But I think that through discussions and through dialogue and working together, we can kind of address these larger issues and make Elon kind of more inclusive than it is right now.
I would encourage them to ask the question about who are you within the context of a university? Who are you within a context of a community? So using Elon's resources to question, kind of like Rachel said, where you come from and your identity, but also to use this time to make yourself uncomfortable. Because one thing I think I've learned at Elon is when you're uncomfortable, when you're nervous, when someone poses a fearful question, that's where you really grow and expand your vision of who you are and how you fit in. So I would encourage younger students to find out who you are through the uncomfortable times.
Similar to Rachel, I'd encourage younger students to kind of confront the privilege that we have here at Elon. And I think understanding that privilege can really give you a better perspective on the world and how you interact with it, and even within small communities, but within the greater world as well. So, yeah.
And I really have to say, along the same lines as Maria, who they are as an individual, and not just in the context of the university, but in the larger world. Who will they be once they leave here? Who were they before they came here? Who do they want to be while they're here?
Great, thank you guys so much. Those are all the questions I have, but I would just like to say that these 5 individuals have uniquely and profoundly impacted my experience at Elon, and I couldn't be more thankful for their guidance over my past 2 years here, and I wish them the absolute best moving forward. So thank you. You can return to your seat.